دوستان محترم، سلام و احترامات ما را قبول بدارید. اسم من ظاهر رسولزاده است. خواستم گزارش را که تهیه دیدم خدمت شما تقدیم دارم. به تاریخ 27 اپریل سال 2017 شهر فریمونت میماندار دکتر لی هیلینگ بود. در سیتی هال شهر فریمونت کالیفرنیا برای معرفی کتاب خود که به نام Place of Miracles یا محل معجزات همه گرد هم جمع شده بودند. شهردار فریمونت خانم لیلی می، اعضای سیتی کانسل، مدیر مسئول پروگرام های اتحادیه افغانان خانم رونا پوپل، نماینده های انجمن ها و اتحادیه های فرنگی ادبی افغانان و همکاران مؤسسه خیریه آقای خان و غیره دوستان و دکتران افغان همه تشریف آورده بودند. دکتر هیلینگ رئیس انستیتوت طبی فرانسوی برای اطفال که در افغانستان است یک شفاخانه را در سال 2005 در شهر کابل در جوار شفاخانه علی‌آباد تعداد گذاری کردند و در سال 2007 افتتاح شد، شروع به کار کرد. مصارف این شفاخانه از طرف دولت فرانسه و دولت افغانستان تمویل گردیده و مؤسسه آقای خان مسئولیت پیشبرد و اداره این شفاخانه را به دوش دارد. تمام دکتران و نرس‌های شفاخانه همیش افغانان است که با استعدادهای بسیار سرشار و به استانداردهای بین المللی تحت راهنمایی مؤسسه آقا خان فعالیت دارند که تا حال اضافه تر از 2500 عملیات جراحی قلب را برای اطفال در این شفاخانه انجام دارد که همه این عملیات ها توسط دکتران افغان انجام شد. قبل از داخل شدن به این محفل در دهلیز دخولی اصریه‌ای ترتیب شده بود که از طرف همکاران افغان کولشن و افغانان فریمونت ترتیب و تنظیم شده بود. همچنان رسامی های آقای عبدالشکور خسروی در اطراف این سالن به نظر می رسید. در شروع پروگرام خانم رونا پوپل مدیر مسئول پروگرام های اتحادیه افغان ها یعنی افغان کولشن همه را به این محفل خوش آمد گفت و مسعود ستاری را که گرداننده این پروگرام بود به معرفی گرفت.
I would like to welcome each and one of you for this wonderful event that we are holding in the city of Fremont. And also I would like to welcome Mr. Healing from Aga Khan Foundation, one of the most prestigious foundation in the world, that they are doing a wonderful job. They are not only saving lives in Afghanistan, but also saving our cultural history also. And also I would like to thank you, City of Fremont, Mayor Lily May, who is here, to give us this opportunity to hold such a good, wonderful program here. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now Masood John Satori will be the moderator of this program.
Thank you very much, Rona John. So Rona Popal has been a leader in the Afghan community for many years, as most of you have known. She's very shy and quiet, but without her advocacy and work and support for our community, many of the refugees and immigrants that have come to this country would not have been able to get the assistance. So I really want to recognize her for her continued advocacy and work in helping organize this event. And also there was many others that are involved as well as the Afghan Coalition.
آقای ستاری با تشکر از خانم رونا پوپال که در برگزاری این محفل سهم مهم داشت یادآوری شده و از خانم لیلی می شهردار فریمان خواست تا چند سخن درباره کتاب دکتر هیلینگ داشته باشد.
This is a very active community that we live in here, home of the largest Afghan community in the United States. We have many professionals within our community who are doctors, engineers, who have been trained here in the United States, and hopefully Lee can talk a little bit more about how some of them can get involved with the work that's happening. So just to kind of run through the agenda tonight, I have we have the honor of having Mayor Lily May here tonight to address us. She'll speak for a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Masood, for the kind introduction. I feel so honored, and it's a pleasure to welcome you today to our City Hall. And I'm joined here by my fellow council members, Councilmember Bonacorsi, Dave Bonacorsi, and Councilmember Raj Solomon. And so we're very excited to have this event and to welcome Mr. Lee Hilling, who is the chairman of the French Medical Institute for Children in Kabul, and to discuss his book, A Place for Miracles, the story of the Children's Hospital in Kabul and the people whose lives have been changed by it. We have the largest Afghani population outside of Afghanistan, and we're very fortunate to have that diversity of culture and heritages. And I've had the pleasure of working with Rona and so many members of the community. We have the meetings with our elderly coalition, the Afghan Elderly Coalition, as well as the Women's Coalition over at Niles Veterans Hall. Faridin, Nizar, Karaj, and Amina Huda. And so I wanted to thank everyone for that. And I also forgot, I apologize, I see in our audience also our Human Relations Commissioner, Sonia Khan. Could you wave? So we have so many different commissions also that help make the community participate and to share their wealth of knowledge with all of us. From the Afghan Coalition, who's our other co-host, we have Rona Popal. Please wave. I know she's always so shy and she's so humble, but she's such a gracious hostess. And she's the executive director, and Seema Farhad. And from the Afghan Education for a Better Tomorrow and the Afghan Professionals Network, Mr. Masood Sitar, who's our MC. And then I would like to also thank our co-hosts as well as our speaker with a small token from our city today. Our staff in Fremont is amazing and really, truly an asset for all of us to ensure that we're able to properly communicate and to have all these wonderful programs for everybody. So the first person I'd like to thank is to welcome up is Rona. And what we have in here is our pin for the city of Fremont. I apologize, it's so beautifully wrapped. I'm not going to unwrap it. I wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
So beautiful with Afghanistan flag.
Yes, we wanted to make sure. Thank you. To honor that. And also for Soraya Ali, who represents the Aga Khan Council for Western United States. And so at this time, I will be happy.
در اخیر دکتر هیلینگ به معرفی کتاب خود پرداخت. این کتاب درباره این شفاخانه، فعالیت‌های شفاخانه، عملیات و معجزاتی که توسط دکتران افغان در این شفاخانه انجام شده به حاضرین تشریح کرد که توسط سلایشوها و پردای تلویزیون در داخل سالن به خوبی به مشاهده می‌رسید.
I am deeply honored to be here. It is a pleasure to make this presentation to you. I have written this book about this place that for a moment we'll call the French Medical Institute for Children in Kabul. And I'll come back to the name a little bit later. And I want to point out before I go on that the book cover is not just a randomly selected pretty picture that looked nice on the cover. That's the hospital. That's a painting that's, as you come through the main entrance to the hospital grounds, that's on the side of the wall as you come through. So I sometimes forget to point that out, but it's a special thing for the book. I wrote this book because I became very deeply convinced that FMIC is one of Afghanistan's most remarkable social sector reconstruction success stories, and that it was a story that deserves to be broadly known and told. I called the book A Place of Miracles because things have been accomplished at FMIC that could never before be accomplished in Afghanistan.
بعدا از حاضرین مجلس خواهش شد که اگر سوال داشته باشد که چند نفر سوالایی داشتن، سوالای خود را مطرح کردن و دکتر هیلینگ بر اونا جواب بسیار واضح و شفاف ارائه کرد.
country which has huge amounts of not very easy to reach space and very limited numbers of facilities for.
My name is Ali Martanzai. I am a former associate professor at Kabul University teaching pharmacology for 23 years and being the editor-in-chief of the Afghan Medical Journal for a little more than a decade before leaving the country obligatory.
دکتر هیلینگ بعدا به ساینینگ کتاب خود رفت و دوستانی که کتابایش خریده بودن خواستن که برشان امضا کند.
There's a tremendous amount of effort that goes to it. So if the members of the City of Fremont can stand up, please, so we can recognize them for the time and energy and effort that they've providing this wonderful facility and this venue for the event and the audio-visual service. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful setting, and hopefully we can have more events here in the future. Thank you. Members of the Aga Khan Council, if you guys can please stand up. Thank you very much. And like I said, they've been on a roll here, organizing one event after another. The Afghan Coalition. There are many organizations that are supporting the Afghan Coalition, and the representative of those are here tonight from the Northern California Afghan Committee Voice, Mr. Khalil Raghib, Tareen Bayan, and Rasul Zadaf. If you guys can please stand up so we. From the Afghan Senior Association, Mr. Mehdari. From the Afghan Elderly Association, Mrs. Najia Hamid. From the Afghan Support Organization, Mr. Martin Zai. Bruce Green. From the Interfaith Council, Mrs. Nahid Arya, a supporter of the Afghan Coalition, and Kevin, who's always been a supporter of the Afghan community. I think he may, and always, and many volunteers of the Afghan Coalition. So thank you all.
The Aga Khan Foundation about how we are going to build a bridge between Afghanistan and professionals here. So these professionals who are educated down here, so they can go back to Afghanistan as a volunteer and helping in our different sectors. You know, so that's one of their suggestions. Hopefully, in future, we're gonna send our request letters to the foundation and see how we can work.
That's a task for us to pursue.
Yeah, hopefully this is the beginning of a long partnership with the Afghan community.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being with you all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
دوستان محترم، در این قسمت برنامه توجه شما را به مصاحبه جالبه که توسط همکارمان بانو تمنا انصاری با دکتر هیلینگ انجام یافته و تماشا می‌گذاریم. لطفاً با ما باشید.
دوستان عزیز برنامه فانوس و تلویزیون جهانی پیام افغان و دوستان عزیز فیسبوک، سلام به شما. به هر نقاط دنیا هستین، صحتمند و سلامت باشین. ما امروز میبینیم که در محفل بسیار خوب بودیم که یک امیدواری به آینده افغانستان و به مردم افغانستان است با شخصیت یا دکتر بسیار خوب امریکایی به نام لی هیلینگ. لی هیلینگ کسی است که در افغانستان از طرف انجیوی آقا خان یک کلینیک یا یک شفاخانه بسیار خوب آباد کردن برای اطفال افغانستان. با نمایندگی افغانان بیریا یا امریکا میخواهیم که ازشان تشکر کنم و از این کار و زحمتایشان به کشور ما کردن. Mr. Healing, welcome to Afghan's community, and definitely we all welcome you to our community for first time, I think, right? And I welcome you, and also we all thank you for your work that you have done for our country. Of course, health is a major issue in our country. Hospitals has always been an issue, and I was very impressed to hear all your activity for our Afghans. So why don't you tell us about the hospital that you or your Aga Khan Institute built in Afghanistan a little bit?
Well, yes, I will. Just briefly, the French Medical Institute for Children, and why the name like that, and involvement with the Aga Khan and other governments. It's a partnership of people who were committed, the French government, the organization that's a French development, La Chaîne de l'Espoir, which is Chain of Hope, that we're going to build the program but ask for Aga Khan Development Network assistance in operating and running it. So 12 years ago we started exploring that. 10 years ago we inaugurated it. President Hamid Karzai participated and others. And since then it's been an initiative of the partners to offer the highest standard world-class care in Afghanistan and to train Afghan doctors and nurses and technicians so it's delivered increasingly by Afghans with the goal to have that kind of a world-class hospital right there. It's working. It succeeds. We have just a story, you know, that I'm pleased to say that we've done about 2,500 heart surgeries for children. About half of them are open heart. And in the recent years, they've all been done by an all-Afghan team of the surgeons and the nurses and the technicians, and they're doing it with results that are at international standards. So this is our hospital, and we're doing that in service after service. So we're so proud.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for doing all this. My question is, how doctors hired in this hospital? What would be the qualifications? Do you think the qualifications might be doctors graduated from our country, Afghanistan, or from other countries? What would be the qualification? Tell me another.
All of the doctors who have, from the beginning, been in the leadership roles in the departments of surgery and medicine and various specialties were all Afghan doctors, except for one, a pathologist, for which there was no pathologist in Afghanistan.
Hopefully there will be.
That now we have trained one,
Okay,
a woman, by the way, who the first...
Her name?
I don't know her name. You forgive me for saying I don't know, but she graduated in March and is going to be in pathology. But some of those doctors had received some training abroad, and the partners came together and they've received training in France. They've had training at Aga Khan University in Karachi. Some have gone to India for training, and nurses as well have received training. But all of our doctors, you know, that are in the leadership position, as well as nurses who are in leadership positions with degrees at bachelor's levels of nursing and masters of nursing, it's increasingly the all-Afghan team. So that's our goal. And the training is an issue. We have our own now training program, Aga Khan University, working with the Ministry of Public Health, and we have 54 students in 4-year training programs, of which we've graduated 20 recently, made history. The first females being trained in pediatric general surgery and working in it, the first female pathologist, but the first doctors in Afghanistan trained in anesthesia and cardiology and radiology. So this is, our goal is capacity development of Afghans so that this is truly an Afghan hospital.
Great, thank you. I heard you just mentioned about affording or that hospital seeing patients based on their ability, financial ability.
Yeah.
What that means? I mean, some people might not have money at all. What do you think about that?
No, I think a lot of people don't have money to pay for care. And the founding partners, the two governments, including the government of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and France, the AKDN, and the La Chaîne de l'Espoir, have funded and supported and raised funds to support the care for people who have limited ability to pay.
Oh, okay.
People who can pay some are expected and invited to pay some. People who can pay nothing, and 100% of their care. We have a program where we try to reach out and find the poorest of the poor that we can and transport them in and provide housing for them and the care and then transport them back. So we are a charitable hospital, but we're also striving to be sustainable. So we are trying to implement services that people who can pay for them will
Right.
pay for them, and that will support the cost of those who can't. But nobody takes any money out of FMIC. It all stays there for Afghan training and for patient welfare. We are increasing our programs, and I would invite others in your audience and listeners, if anybody wants to know how they can support either the care for needy children and mothers now at the hospital or the training of nurses and doctors, there are ways to do that, and
Right.
we'd be pleased to invite the support because those resources are needed.
خب بینندای عزیز قسم که مشنوین اینا ضرورت دارن حمایت شما را به این هاسپیتال یا به این شفاخانه اگر شما دکتر هستین و یا میخواین somehow یا به یک شکل به این شفاخانه کمک برسانین تا اطفال نازنین ما تداوی شوند و مادران ما در این شفاخانه تداوی شوند. لطفاً با انستیتوت آقاخان یا انجیوی آقاخان به تماس شوین یا تلفن را بر شما مگذاریم که شما بر ما ایمیل کنین تا بتانیم کمک های خود برسانیم. It's very interesting and we are very proud to have you or have your institute or have people that who care about our people, of course. And I also noticed your book. That's a great book. It's a story of Afghans, I believe, right?
It's all about Afghans. It's an Afghan story. It's an Afghan success story.
Success story. And tell us about your book. Why you decided to write this book? I know you have done a lot in Afghanistan, and how did you find out that you have to bring it out on the book and write it down?
We've been working with this hospital for a while in Afghanistan, and after a couple or 3 years, we decided that we wanted to try to host an international symposium on pediatric care. And that's kind of a very broad and bold thing to do. But we had, for that session, we had several hundred people come from a dozen countries. We had speakers from around the world, including the American military, had some people that spoke there. But our doctors from Afghanistan were up and presenting case studies that they had done. And I looked and I saw that those doctors could have pride that they were doing something that the world was paying attention to. And sitting beside me, or near me, was an American nurse that was watching this. And she said, I never realized something like this could happen in Afghanistan. And I just got goosebumps. And I thought, wow, something's going on here that's more than just delivering care. On the long plane ride home, when I was supposed to be writing reports to my bosses, I wrote an outline for this book. It just poured out of me. I said, somebody has to tell this story.
Right.
Somebody has to talk about the heroes that are working here, the heroes that have borne tragedy that come here, and
give care.
And the book got written.
Yeah, great.
I'm not sure who wrote it.
Well, thank you very much. It was a great book, and I heard a couple of stories about Farishta and about Nia. It was very impressive. And so you name the book A Place of Miracles. Beautiful name. How you come up with that name?
It just seemed right. I mean,
Exactly, but I want to hear from you.
Well, I've had people challenge me, isn't a miracle something that comes from God and isn't it divine? And that is maybe a definition, and maybe or maybe not the things that we do are from God. But also a miracle are extraordinary things.
Right.
And I know that things have happened at FMIC that could never before be happening in Afghanistan, and they are extraordinary, and so why not call it a place of miracles? Because it is.
It is pretty name. Well, you have been 60 times at least in Afghanistan.
70.
70. Well, I just read on your brochure,
course, yeah,
60, well, now 70. How did you find out Afghan people overall?
Oh, I love Afghan people. I first had the opportunity to work with Afghan people when I was the chief executive officer of the Aga Khan University Hospital in Karachi, and this was during the Civil War, and there were Red Cross hospitals set up in Quetta, and we were inviting and training Afghans who were working there to be nurses. So we had a lot of them come to Aga Khan University Hospital and trained, and I understood their passion for their country and what they were doing. It was many years later that I had the opportunity to make my first visit to Afghanistan, but I have the deepest respect. I think that what the world has created for the conditions is horrible, and I see Afghans are so proud and resilient and able to do things if you just have any door open for you. I have some of my best friends there that I'm making friends with their families in the United States. And so Afghanistan and Afghans to me now are becoming friends and almost feel like family. And so it's very special and precious to me.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope you and the Aga Khan Institute continue their assistance to our country, and hopefully you guys have more plans in medical field that we need a lot. And thank you so much for being with Fanus Show and with our viewers.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be in Fremont and to have this much opportunity to meet your community here. And this is special. I've had the opportunity to make presentations around the world, and this one will stand out to me as one of the very special ones in my memory, just because of who I have met here and how kind you've been. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And also دوستان عزیز از آقای ظاهر رسولزاد سپاسگزار هستیم که با در قسمت کمره با ما همکاری کردن، لطف کردن. از پروین جان زازی سپاسگزار هستیم، از شریفه جان رؤوف که همیشه در کنار ما هست، و با فانوس سپاسگزار هستم. همه شما را به خداوند میسپارم. زنده و سلامت باشید.